I feel like it's finally time to let them in on what we've been working on for the past several weeks.
I think it's time.
Do you agree?
I concur.
We needed to make sure that we had all our information correct first, but now I think that this is elevated to the point where it's time to let them in on it. Not too long ago, Andrew and I received a letter sent to us addressed just from an anonymous junior high student. So here's what it says. Dear Chris and Andrew, I was at junior high camp with you 2 years ago, and of all the people I met there, Gabe the Unicorn was my favorite. I followed him on Instagram and loved having the insight into his life, and obviously his death devastated me. The more I began to think about it and look into it, I noticed that the details surrounding his death didn't quite add up. I think that this whole situation is bigger than me, and so I can't share my name or all the details for my own safety. I just ask that you please investigate. I think that you will be surprised as to what you find. And then they just say at the bottom, I believe. So 2 years ago at junior high camp, Gabe the Unicorn showed up because Andrew did the work to find
I was
Gabe
the talent scout, I guess.
And bring
manager.
Gabe in. He was the morning show assistant, and our students fell in love with him, but he died.
Yeah.
And the post about his death was released on his Instagram. We're not really for sure how or by whom. But ever since then, we've not heard from Gabe. This past year at junior high camp, Gabe's brother, who's also named Gabe, was
It's one of those weird things, yeah.
Was there.
Family name.
But the original Gabe the Unicorn has not been seen since.
Yeah.
You found Gabe's diary. And, well, why don't you just read for them the post that you've got here?
This is definitely Gabe's journal because filled with glitter. It says, Dear Journal, I cannot take it much longer. The fame and the facade of my life has become too much to bear. I cannot keep posting fake pictures on Instagram and living a lie.
So we went back and started doing some research through Gabe's Instagram, and if you want to follow Gabe so you can see what we're looking at as well, it's just unicorn_Gabe. This is the first picture of Gabe taken at that junior high camp 2 summers ago. If we go to the picture of his death and we kind of do a side-by-side comparison.
The first thing you notice is his giant nose. He would say that.
Yeah.
And it's a bright pink color. It's very vibrant.
Mm-hmm.
But if you notice the picture that he or someone posted of his death, it's a very washed out face. There's no pink. The hair's spikier and more kept and maintained.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just from personal knowledge, I know Gabe would never wear a jacket like this. He was He was a believer in multiple strands of cloth in his fabric and mostly wore polyester.
So we started thinking that this picture of Gabe at his death maybe isn't actually Gabe. And maybe Gabe is still alive somewhere. And we know that Gabe did always desire one day to live in the woods again, like his ancestors. We've decided that the only way to settle this once and for all is Andrew and I are going on the search for Gabe.